Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of the Podcast Prophet. As promised, I said I would fill you in on my awesome fundraising volunteer experience. And wow, I had a lot of interesting things happen today. And I feel like I'm just trying to put it all together. And I just had a lot of aha moments and I'm really starting to try and figure out who I am, where I'm going, where I fit in. Do I fit in? I feel like I've spent 50 years of my life trying so hard to be a part of something. Even when I was a part of something, I was trying to be a part of something because even the things that was a part of, I didn't feel like I was a part of them, especially like family or school or, you know what I mean? Like where you have to be there or like it's part of, whatever. But friends really are the family we choose for ourselves. And I have spent so many years moving around, making new friends, sinking myself into communities, meeting new people. And tonight was really interesting on so many levels. In one respect, I felt super good, super comfortable. I'm like, these are my people. I loved every single person I met today. I mean, the readings were great. Like everything was good, but it was really weird. I just feel like something is off. And Alder and I didn't talk a lot about what happened. He he seemed to, he wasn't mad. I think I don't know how to explain it, but I really don't know where he got 6:45 a.m. I mean, we talked about it. I told him it was at nighttime, so whatever, but our wires got crossed. But I was waiting for him to be like, I don't know why. I said, dude, I go, come on. And finally, after trying to pull some stuff out of him, I said, how long have you known me? And he's like, a long time. And I said, don't you think if I had to be somewhere, if I had you pick me up at 6:45, he's like, yeah, you're not really a morning. I'm like, don't you think I would have at least, I go, I know I don't really complain anymore. I do my best to try and stay positive, but I'm like, I would have said at least one thing like, oh, I'm sorry you have to get up that early. Or I go, and then I jogged his memory of some of the things that I said. And I was like, I don't know where you came up with that. He's like, I don't either. I don't either. I'm like, okay. But he seemed kind of frustrated. And I was grateful that he was driving me. And, but yeah, I felt like, to be honest, even right now talking to you guys, like it's after 1 in the morning and I've been up, I don't know, since 6-ish. So it's been a long, 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 long day. And I just, I feel like one of the people that I read for today, they were talking about how they don't think we're in the third dimensional energy or the fifth dimensional energy. They think that we're like in the transitional phase. And I said, well, of course we are. I'm like, but the reason why it's so hard is because we're already in the fifth dimensional energy. And, it's like you agree to disagree. It's like everybody has their own view. So it's like, I don't judge anybody, it's like if that's what they believe or that's what they think, like that's all good. But I guess the best way I can say it is that I kind of, in a weird way, feel like I was in someone else's life today. Like now that I'm home, now that I'm away from everything, I smudged myself. Like I was so upset. My hair reeks of cigarettes. I just washed my hair. And today, I almost, what's so funny? I almost didn't, but it was like, it really needed to be done. Um, and, and I'm like, I was literally just standing outside talking to someone for like 2 minutes that was smoking a cigarette. And I didn't even notice that I smelled like that until I got into my house and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, is it on my clothes? And then I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, it's on my skin. It was in my hair. Like right now, I'm like, I just went to the laundromat and like washed everything. And, living off grid, it's like, I don't go. I try to go once a month, but it's usually more like 6 weeks. Sometimes it'll be the whole season, especially summer. I think I haven't gone since the beginning of the summer because in the summer it's so easy the clothes I'm wearing, I just wash them, I hand wash them and I have so much bedding and I put stuff outside and so but this time of year, it's a little more rough because it's raining or it's cold or both. So, I don't have the same luxuries. And I just like washed all of like my bedding and my duvet and all that. And I'm like, I'm literally like was sitting here going, should I wash my hair? Because if my duvet and everything smells of cigarettes in the morning, I was like, so there's like, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting. It's just interesting. I'm so happy to be here and I met some of the most amazing, beautiful souls, but the alcohol and cigarettes is just not my jam. I mean, one of the guys I was reading for, he was such a beautiful, beautiful soul. But it's like just, you just smell the alcohol and it wasn't like a triggering thing. Like, sometimes I get triggered by certain things, my father was an alcoholic, but and I was raised around them. But it's not that. It's not that. It's the smell. It's the smell. I don't, it's just interesting. So I'm so glad I went. I feel really blessed to be welcomed in to such a beautiful community. Like I feel, I was just realized I was bent over. I hope you guys heard that. I think I was leaning over the speaker. You might not have heard that, but basically I had a wonderful time with wonderful people, but I just don't know, because some of the people I was talking to, because I was like, wow, this is really, what was so crazy was you guys have heard me speak of how one of my shamans that I work with had said to me, you need to train yourself to be so laser focused that if you are in a subway station on a Friday night in New York City, you should be able to do a reading for somebody, just right there and not let anything affect you. And the interesting thing is, I felt like over the years, I've really accomplished that, especially when I worked at Psychic Sister, because I would be sitting in the window of like downtown Olympia. And even though there was a curtain pulled, it's like you can still feel the energy of people walking by. And I used to work on Saturdays a lot. And so, it's like Friday and Saturday and like the traffic, going by was just always, really intense. And then it was inside a vintage store that also sold local artists and goods and tarot cards. And it was like a really cool, funky place called Psychic Sister in Olympia. It's still there as far as I know. Um, and so there's music going on overhead. People are shopping. I remember one time I was reading for somebody and a bridal party had come in and they were like, oh my God, like it was just like, and they were like right on the other side of me. And like the person I was reading for, like we were laughing and stuff, but I was like, oh, this must be what he's talking about. So, and I've done, when I do readings for like when I'm live with you guys, it's really intense, especially this last summer when I went live. But nothing could have really prepared me for today because it was at the American Legion in Port Townsend, which is a really cool, funky, awesome little place. But it's like I walk in and I'm like, what do you do? And they're like, oh, you have to walk through the bar and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. So I like walked in and like people are playing pool and there's the bars going on. Then there's like the seating area and then there's these massive TVs and they had baseball on. And of course, because I'm in Washington, the Seattle Mariners, and they won. So the whole fucking bar was going crazy. Um, and good for them, good on them. I don't follow sports, but it is my home state right now. So yay, Mariners. um, but on top of that, they have like a banquet hall and or like a or a concert venue or whatever. And so that's where the party was. And they had a band going. They had a few, two or three bands that played. So I was doing readings for people with a live band, a baseball game, pool, music, and a bar. It was insane. Now, at one point, it did kind of like calm down a bit. The nobody was playing pool, so that was awesome. They were really focused on the game, but it was, I mean, it was insane. I almost stopped like 5 times. I even said to every person I was reading for, I'm like, I am so glad that I'm doing this as like, a charity event. Like I'm doing it pro bono. I'm like, because I would literally be like, don't give me any money. It was one of the, ooh, when I looked down, it was 11:01. That's awesome. I haven't looked the whole time and I looked down, it was 11:01. But it was also this cool, funky place filled with all of these like it felt like the island of misfit toys. So in some ways, I felt the most comfortable I've felt in a really long time. I'm like, these are my people. Like they even said to me a few times, they're like, you're one of us. I'm like, I do feel that. But at the same time, there's this part of me that is like, I don't know where or how I really fit in though yet because I don't, it's just alcohol and smoking and all that, like it's not even that it triggers me because it doesn't. I don't like crave it. I miss wine and I miss cigarettes, but like that kind of environment, like in a bar and people drinking and like everyone going outside to smoke, like I don't miss that at all. I don't because I was a slave to it and I don't miss being a slave to it at all. And that's just my story. But it was interesting. It was so fucking interesting. I mean, honestly, I feel like I need time to like really digest everything that happened. And then when I was leaving, I was like saying goodbye to everybody and then I went outside and Alder was sleeping. So I had to wait for him to kind of like wake up and, kind of adjust, like he was sleeping in the back of his van. So like he had to like get up and like start the car and all that. So I tried to be quiet and not talk, because I know what that's like. And then that was just even weird too, because driving home, I was like, who are you? Like who am I? I mean, I haven't had that many men flirt with me in so long. And you know what's really interesting? And I'm not this saying this to be ego. It's just that I don't go out and I don't do things. And I was so excited to get ready. I was going to color my hair. I was getting all ready. I have this beautiful lilac color. I was going to color my hair purple and this, and do my makeup and everything. I had everything planned out. My nails have been growing out. I was feeling so good. And Spirit's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? And now I get it because, you know, when you're like a bunch of people and you all know each other, it's like when, you grow up in a small town and everybody knows each other and then a new person moves in or a new family moves in and it's just exciting. It's a new toy, right? Like, so it was more like that. It was like being the new toy. But, um, but it was also, it made a lot of sense because I feel like, I mean, I didn't even wear any blush or anything. I mean, I loved the way I looked and I loved my outfit. My outfit was a jam. And actually this woman like stopped me and she was like, your outfit is amazing. She's like, I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm like, yeah, it's a really cool vintage dress. She's like, no, the whole thing and the layering of it all, like, it's really cool. I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm like, yeah, I kind of planned it out and I felt so good, but I feel like I wasn't meant to be there in like my full regalia. I was there to work. I was there to connect people with spirit. I was there to, I mean, I gained so much too. So many people gave me such great insight and advice and I mean it was just so good. It was good all the way around. But I don't know if I'm feeling like an outsider because I move so much, and maybe I'm not getting attached because, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like I keep searching and searching and searching and searching and searching. And obviously you guys are my tribe. I love you so much. And so many of you are my very dear close friends, and I'm so grateful for you. Um, but yeah, I can't get on board with certain things, and it's not a judgment in any way, shape, or form. Everybody has the way they live their life. You know what I mean? I have no, um, I'm not judging anybody for if they drink or smoke cigarettes. Like, I don't, it's not what this is about. What it's about is that I feel like every day I work so hard to elevate myself to the highest caliber I can. But yet I find when I get in groups, or like tonight, I find I still put masks on, or and it's interesting because with some of the people, I was 100% myself. And then with some other people, I found, like, not trying to be cool, but like just trying to fit in maybe, or I can tell that they're going through something. And I had a few people who tried to like kind of do this little like one up thing, or like the superior thing. And I grew up in a family like that. And, I'm just like, I'm the one that's like, give everybody a trophy. You know what I mean? Like, give the first person, like, whoever wins should get first place. Everybody else gets a participant. You know what I mean? It's like, there's one person won the race, like, yeah, they're second, third, whatever. But it's like, you obviously know you came in second. Everybody saw you came in third. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, just get a participation trophy. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. It's late, but maybe you know what I'm saying. Um, but I don't like the ping pong of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I feel like I need some time to digest it all. I'm tired. It's late. And then, like, seriously, I looked over at Alder, and I'm just like, he's so mean right now. He's so angry, and I just can't fucking stand it. And I feel like part of the anger is, I feel like Alder wants to hang out with me so bad. Like, I feel like Alder, when he's with me, he's happy and he wants to hang out with me. But it's like Ed's just not having it. He's just not having it. And he does everything in his power to push me away. He does everything in his power to make me feel unwanted, unloved, uncared for. And the last time it got really ugly, I just started crying. I was so sad. And I said, "Can you please stop talking to me like that?" I said, "For whatever reason, we are fucking tethered." And I'm like, it doesn't help me or you or anything to talk to me like that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why do you have to be mean? Like, I don't even know why people are mean. I don't know where it comes from. Like, I mean, I do, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, with him, it's just, I just don't know. I don't understand it. But I just started to cry, and he just held me and hugged me, and he just held my head in like the sweetest way, and he started crying, and I could tell he felt really bad. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, whatever is happening right now, I mean, the craziest thing was, I forgot to tell you this part. On our way there, we almost hit a stag, and you know it was early. It's not like, when he was driving me home, it was late. And no, this was like, I mean, it was getting dark. um But in the town, in our small town, we're famous for, like, the deer pretty much run the town. And there's a big fight about that, because some people are like, this is their habitat. We support them, we take care of them. And other people are like, we should, you know, get them out of here, and or put poisonous plants out. I mean, people just are like, So anyway, as they say in Port Townsend either pulls you in or spits you out. And I feel like he keeps trying to pull me in, but I'm not sure where I belong. And it's just really interesting. So, like, are those my people today? Absolutely. Like, I loved every person I met. I was so glad I went. But I feel like I'm meant to do something else too. Like, it's not just about them. I feel like there's something more that I haven't fully understood yet. Like, I don't think I 100% know exactly right this moment, but I feel something coming. I feel it brewing. I definitely feel the witchy. I'm feeling it. Um, but yeah, I just I could tell that he's just so disconnected, Alder. He's just so disconnected. And when the stag was, I could see it. It was running. It was pretty. I mean, it was like it was right there. I mean, it was running. I don't know how he missed it. I mean, it was massive. It had these big fucking antlers. And the only other stag I ever saw here was last year on Samhain. If I can find the video, I'll put it in the description box from my other channel, Lula's Labyrinth, or it might have been on this one. I don't know. It was on one of the channels, but either way, I'll try and find it. And but he's mighty, and this one was like, I'm like, holy shit! I think it was him. If not, it was, I don't know. I've never seen. You don't see a lot of stags. In fact, when I said that, people are like, "Oh, really? That's interesting." I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, I'm like, stop, stop. He's like, what? I'm like, deer. I'm like, stag. I'm like, stop. And all of a sudden it was just like him and the stag stopped at like the same time, and the stag looked right at us. He like looked right into the car. He looked right at me, and I was like, holy shit. And I go, wow. That's crazy. And then he just like stood there for a second. And I'm like, where's he going to go? Is he going to go across the street, or is he going to go back the other way? And we waited to see where he was going to go. And then when he finally went on his way, we started driving forward, and I go, wow, I bet you I'm going to read for a bunch of men. And he's like, what? I go, I bet I'm going to read for men tonight, or at least one, because especially, with readings and that, you get a lot of women. I mean, men do too, but in my experience, I mean, obviously you guys, like, we're about 60-40 with the divine masculine and feminine on this channel. 60 women, but still, they're here. You guys are here, and thank you for being here. And sure enough, my first two readings were men. It was so interesting. And my last two readings were women. I did 4 readings. And the first reading, I feel like, was the one I was meant to be there. I mean, I was meant to be there all the way around. And it's interesting because tomorrow's the witch's walk, and he's not going to drive me, which I didn't, he said he would before, but I could tell like today just, the interesting thing is he's getting angry and upset with me for his shit that he's doing, but he's blaming me for it. You know, it's like I realized he's just fully fallen back into the narcissist again. Like, it's just, he was getting so close, and it's like he just fell off the wagon again. And I know that we're in the shadow and all that, so I'm doing my best to hang on. But I'll be honest, I mean, you know, I had a lot of very handsome and very cool and very sexy men flirt with me and, hit on me tonight. And it was interesting. And I realized, I'm like, I mean, I feel my mojo is back. So, like, I didn't need that validation or anything, but it was nice. And I don't know why, but on the way home, I kind of told Alder about it. And I didn't do it to like seek it out to like make him jealous. I was just telling him, I was telling a story, and then I found myself pausing, and I was like, because I tend to omit things because it might hurt his feelings or it might whatever. And I was just like, no, I'm like, that's what happened. So I'm going to tell the story. And I was like, oh, I'm like, it was really fun, and, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. It was just interesting. But I did find that I was going back to like a different version of myself. It wasn't me, an old me. It's me now, but it's me now trying to navigate my way through social constructs. And it was interesting because I met these two really funny guys, and they're friends. And and the one was like, I made him, or the one was like, I'm supposed to be home reading my book. He made me come out. And I was like, oh, you're like me. I go, I wasn't going to be here either. I said, but I was really called to be here, and anyway, it was a really cool and fun experience. But we were laughing that we were both pulled to be there, and we didn't really want to be there, but we wanted to be there, but we didn't want to be there, like because it's out of our comfort zone. We like to be at home by ourselves. And I said, he's right. I'm glad you came out. And I said, and I'm glad Spirit pushed me to come out because I had a really good time. I just, I think I just was trying to figure out what's going on. And then when he said he couldn't drive me, I got the vibe. I'm like, you don't want me to go tomorrow, Spirit, do you? And I feel like they're like, no. So I don't know. I mean, I said, I'm like, I want to be part of this community, and I definitely want to be a part of, the Witches Walk, and, and help to, for next year and all that kind of stuff. But it's interesting. I think tomorrow, it's the parade and it's all ages. I think the reason why they don't want me to go is because it was really overwhelming tonight, and I feel like I need a lot, like I feel like I need more time away from everything to kind of like think about it. You know what I mean? To like process everything that I went through. And I'm so grateful for my new friends, and I'm so grateful for this community, but I also still feel like I don't belong. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's just me, like that's just who I am and that's okay. Like I'm a loner witch. Um or if it's like it's me, but I have to ease into it because it's been a long time since I've been a part of like an in-person like community. Because I have you guys, right? Like we're online, whatever. But you know, this is a really close-knit community. A lot of these people grew up together. It's a small town, and it's beautiful. We're talking, multiple generations, and that was really cool. I learned more history about that today, and I met like the main queen. She was really cool, and how she was so happy how things were moving forward, and she was happy that like these younger women are carrying the torch. She's passed it on to them, and it was interesting. Like I said, it was really cool. It was really awesome, but like at the same time, um, I feel confused because for a long time it was me and Alder, and I've always felt like that's the way it was supposed to be. But when I look at him, he's like a shell of himself. I don't know how to explain it. And I don't say that to be cruel or mean or judgmental. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it must be like when someone gets in an accident and you've known them a certain way their whole life, and then they're, they can still function, but like their brain doesn't work the same, or they don't remember you, or you have to rebuild a relationship, and like, and maybe that spark, that flare that they had is gone. And you're like, will they ever be that person again? And it's like, maybe not. So I just, I guess ugh, I can't believe I'm crying right now. Yeah, I literally just felt like I don't belong here. Or do I? You know what I mean? Because I feel like I keep trying to get out of here, and I feel like I just keep getting pulled back. So it's either a lesson I haven't, you know, learned, and they're going to keep me here until I do, or this is my community, and maybe I've been an outcast for so long that I literally don't know how to interact with people anymore. I'm always myself with you guys on here. And I was myself tonight, but I definitely felt like there was, yeah, it's just, I feel like I just need to digest stuff. And I honestly don't even want to look at Alder's face when he's like that, to be honest. It hurts my heart. Um, I don't know where he is. I know he's in there. And I feel like he's like
begging me to fucking don't give up on him, so I'm trying so hard not to. But I feel like I've always said to Spirit, bring me where I'm most needed. Bring me where I can do the most good or be the most helpful. And I guess I just don't know where that is anymore. Uh, my landlord's my buddy, he's my pal, and we had a conversation earlier today, and when I told him that I was doing this tonight, I was like, I told you. He's like, I don't remember. I'm like, dude, I told you. And he sent me this really cute message. Said, have a really good time tonight. And then he sent me another message later and he's like, you're gonna be famous. I just know it. He's so funny and he's so supportive and he sends me the most random shit. But he's really psychic and really funny. And you know, I've been so blessed to have so many angels looking out for me. And I feel the most in my skin that I've ever felt. But I have no idea how to navigate this with Alder. I really am struggling. And I'm frustrated. How do you help somebody who doesn't want your help? You really can't. You just have to wait until the storm passes. And I had this really great conversation with a sister witch who's going through very, like, very similar things that I'm going through, like almost identical, except for, I don't have children. Children always makes it 100 times harder. Um, but there was one moment where, because they've been so wonderful and very helpful to me in the short time I've known them, and at one point I started to tell them something and I was like, I hate something. And I go, I've got to stop saying that. I said, I don't say that. And she's like, you know what? I have to stop saying it too. And that actually, in that moment, I realized it's even small moments like that that you're like, okay, even if I was just placed here for this moment for us both to remember, like to, mind our words. I mean, as witches, I feel like we've gotten so far off of, like, no wonder why things are so topsy-turvy. I mean, people were talking about spells and spell books and witchcraft and stuff tonight, and then I realized, I'm like, I don't know if that's really me. I've never, I mean, I have journals and things like that, but I don't have a grimoire. Like, that's not, I don't do spells, I don't cast spells. However, I mean, we're always casting spells by just speaking. Speaking things into being is like casting a spell. But like, I'm not, and when I do readings for you guys and they have like little spells in there, like I'll read them and say, hey, if you guys want to do it, bippity boppity boo. But I'm just more of a natural witch where I'm just like, whatever I'm drawn to. I don't know. I'm not saying they're not natural witches. I'm just, you know, yeah, I just think that's what I'm saying. This is how I felt my entire life. Like, I don't know how to explain it in any other way. Like, there was a photo booth, and one of my friends, she's so drop dead beautiful. Like she's just like beautiful inside, beautiful outside. And she just looked like a powerhouse. She was dressed as Wonder Woman. I'm like, dude, you're so fucking beautiful. I'm like, look at your outfit. I'm like, you're so sexy and beautiful. And and I didn't even like know how to pose for pictures. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like I just the whole thing was just the energy was just so awesome, but also it was so much vibration through my energy field of different souls. And when I was reading for people, I kept I would go, "Do you have somebody named Patty or Patricia?" Like all these, and then I started to realize I'm like, oh my God, there were so many people. There was this one entity there that wanted me so desperately to talk to somebody there in the bar, and there was so many people, and I was just like, I don't know who it is. I'm like, if you want to. I'm like, bring them to me, like gravitate them. Cause I was like reading for people and going, does this make sense to you? They're like, no. I'm like, somebody, I mean, and with each one, I would ask them, I'd be like, did you lose somebody with drowning? And all of them were like, no. I'm like, oh, somebody is. I'm like, somebody, I kept hearing these names. Um, and I was like, well, I'm here. Like, did you bring me here to talk to that person? I'm like, then bring them into my orbit or show me where they are. I'll go talk to them. Like, even if they don't like it, I mean, I've done that before, especially at a party like that, at a gathering. I was like, if I could be like, if you don't believe me, but someone named Patty's here, and but I did have one reading that was really awesome with someone whose friend came through, and that was really cool. Um, they didn't have closure with them. So I was so happy to give him that closure and gave him a little reading. I mean, it was fun. I mean, I had a good time. Like I keep saying, and I feel like I want to say that I did. I felt that's why it was such a conundrum. I felt so relaxed and I felt so good there. Like I felt like these are my people. Like I felt really good. And you know how like you meet people and they look familiar to you, even though you've never met them. That's when you're like, this is good. Like, I feel good here. I had so many people who were very welcoming. Um, but yeah, I just was like, then it got to a point where I just started to feel kind of like, I need to get out of here. Like, I need to get out of here, like right now. It was really intense. So, the town that I live in is really old. The building that I was in was really old. And the Grand Poobah Queen, which she was telling me, she's like, oh my God, I worked here for years. And she was like, it's so haunted. I'm like, because I was saying, she's like, how are you doing? Are you having a good time? And I was like, well, I'm like, I've never done readings under this kind of, like this before. And she goes, so on top of the fact that this place is haunted, have you been picking that up? And I was like, oh, so I mean, honestly, now that I say that out loud, it could have been somebody from the building, the names and the drowning. But yeah, there were some things that were coming through that were like really scarce or severe. I mean, I don't know where that came from. And one of the people that I read for, um, it was so interesting, man. I felt like I was watching a movie. Actually, two people that I read for, I feel like I was watching a movie when we were like sharing information. It was really cool. Anyway, so that's that. I'm going to get ready for bed. I'm exhausted. I barely ate anything in the last 48 hours. That's also why I'm feeling really drained. But these are the times that I kind of like to do these because they're emotional, they're a little all over the place, but it's also just raw and real. And this is what's going on. And I know that there are a lot of light workers like myself out there that feel this way, like feeling homesick. Just recently, one of the pick readings I did, I kept getting this vibe of a really like sad, like homesick energy. And that's kind of, it's interesting. I mean, I was in such a good mood. I was so excited to go. Like I said, I love my outfit. I was rocking it. I was just really excited. Um, but yeah, it just started to get more and more intense, and I had to like smudge myself a lot. I actually left some of my stuff outside, like my coat and stuff, like, and some of like the fabrics that I used on the table, and I was just like, this shit needs to air out. I'm like, oh, it was so funny. People are like, can I put my drink here? Because they gave me like a little altar
table. But they were so cute. They were so respectful. They were just like, and I said, sure. I'm like, I understand it's like a table. She goes, no, but I understand, like, this is your altar. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And I was like, the fact that you just recognize that it's my altar, you can put your drink there. And I was like, it's all good. I'm like, it's the corner on a piece of fabric. It's all good. Um, but yeah, I'm like, this isn't how I normally do readings. This isn't how I normally connect with people. It felt very, it was, the craziest part was, is it felt natural and unnatural at the same time. And I think it's because there were so many powerful souls there. You know what I mean? That it's like, how can you have like a really awesome time and a really not so awesome time at the same time? you know? I think that I had a good time, but I think what's the sad part, and why I think I'm having such deep reflection over it, is that I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever gonna find that home feeling again. Alder and I used to always say, like, that's why we kept always coming back to each other, because we felt like home to each other. But tonight, I was like, I mean, he literally, it's like almost 1 a.m. I'm like, dude, why don't you just stay on the property? Like, I'm like, just, I'm like, you can come and go. I'm like, I won't bother you or whatever. He's like, no. I'm like, so you'd rather drive 10, 20 minutes, whatever, and go sleep on the side of a road or in a parking lot or whatever. Like, you'd rather do that than like stay on the property with me. I mean, I think that's what's gutting me, is that I'm just like, really? Really? I I don't want to be anywhere, and I don't want anyone around me that doesn't fucking want to be there. And I'm like, I don't understand this lesson. And maybe that's why I'm so frustrated and so tired and so sad, because I don't understand the assignment. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time I understand the assignment. I don't understand the assignment. Like, I really don't. It's more than the unconditional love part. I'm saying, like, I'm just supposed to over and over and over just keep taking this. This just doesn't seem natural to me. And I think another part of me is a little sad, because I feel like I was hoping that something massive would like click or change today. I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt like it would. I felt that way for the longest time, and then I was drawn to watch this reading, and I haven't really watched any readings this week. And they said something about the next gathering you're going to, whatever, like, everything's going to make sense. Or so maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just need to talk this through, and maybe when I wake up tomorrow, I'll look at things differently. You know what I mean? But right now, it's hard to be treated this way by someone who's took vows, and you know what I mean? And told me, they'd love me and all these, you know what I mean, unconditionally, and yet it's been nothing but conditions. And I keep loving him unconditionally, but then I guess I'm not, right? Because I wouldn't be letting this get to me. I wouldn't be taking this personally. I'd be like, I know this has nothing to do with me. But at the same time, I'm like, then stay the fuck away from me. Then stay the fuck away from me, I was also thinking that, Spirit may have pulled me into this tribe, because I'm not kidding. Like, I met some really, really cool people today. And, it could be that maybe Spirit's trying to help me find my new home, a new job, something that's going to like take me away from Alder and away from this. Because I, I mean, I feel like a human punching bag right now. And I've kind of had enough. You know what I mean? Not kind of. I've had enough. And I told Spirit that. And I told Alder that. I'm like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm like, it takes just the same amount of energy to be kind as it takes to be mean. So I'm like, you're choosing. I'm like, so I said to him the other day, I go, so do you talk to everybody like this? Do you treat everybody like this? Or am I just the special one? And I used to say that to him a long time ago. And I saw the way he looked at me because he knows that was something I used to say to him. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like what? I mean, I don't think anybody else would put up with that, you know? And I'm not here to be his little, this narcissist empath fucking soulmate twin flame. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm like, can I just work? Can I just do readings? Can I just be the earth angel I came here to be? Like, can I just do that shit? I mean, you know? And after meeting so many beautiful men tonight, I was like, there are so many good guys out there. Now I don't know them, right? Like they could be fucking scoundrels. I don't know. Maybe they're just like him, you know? But I, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just the divine masculine right now. I just can't get on board with this bullshit. I'm getting tired of it. I'm really genuinely tired of it. I've just enough is enough, you know? You're so fucking miserable. It's like, what are you so miserable about? You know? It's time we take some accountability. All of us, honestly. It's the accountability. All right, now I'm just rambling and I don't want to be negative. I love you and I love him and I love every soul that I met today. And I send us all love and thank you for letting me. Thank you for allowing this platform and for listening. Even if it's just a few of you, when you listen, I am grateful and I hope that it helps you in any way as well. And it does help to get this out. It's, you know, my therapy, my soundboard. And sometimes I'm the prophet, but sometimes I'm the patient. So until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. I love you. Blessed be. Oh, bye.